Hello, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you in whatever time zone in the world that you may be tuning in right now. So, yes, whether you are in Lagos or probably in New York stuck in traffic, or you're probably unwinding after a long day, or you're just scrolling mindlessly on social media, this is me saying welcome to yet another episode. And as always, it's such an honor to have you guys here. It's such an honor to have you come back here to listen to yet another episode of this podcast. Okay, so I do not take it for granted, of course, and it's a pleasure having you guys here. Oh yes, so I have decided to make it a tradition of asking, how you guys doing? So yep, are you doing? And sometimes it's easy to be very, very, very caught up in the moment, caught up with work, caught up with responsibility. And when was the last time somebody genuinely asked you, how are you doing? And I hope that they go on to ask, I hope you're fine and the like. So notwithstanding, this is me asking you, how are you doing? I hope you're genuinely fine. Like you are fine. I hope you're not experiencing burnout. I hope you're taking the time and enjoying the moments, right? Not thinking about the future, not just trusting God, trusting the fatherhood of God, right? Yep. I hope you are really allowing God to be your father. So okay, yeah. Basically, that is just me asking you because I really do care. So of course, welcome back again to yet another episode. So recently, I've been receiving messages as regards the previous episodes, and one of the messages I've received is how each topic. I think one thing that is rampant, right, is receiving different messages that says it's timely. Yeah, I think each episode is timely. Yeah, each episode is timely, and to be very honest, I am humbled. And I want to say thank God, yes, thank God for His mercies, thank God for showing mercy, and I do not take it for granted. And my thoughts, my mind, God is my heart, is that I should be found faithful in declaring the intent and the mind of God. And yes, by the mercies of God, I thank God that this podcast is a contribution of value to you, right? It is a contribution of value to you, and I'm grateful to God for His mercies. So thank you once again, and thanks to God, thanks to you for listening. And by the mercies of God, this podcast, each episode is going to be a contribution of value to you. So let's move on right into this episode. But before we do that, let's just do a little bit of preview. Right, you would remember that when we started with understanding timing, where we spoke about Kairos and Chronos. Then we took it a step further to talk about timing and decision making. So it is important to state that each episode is crafted just for you, so they're not randomly picked, or we should do this today because this is what it should be like. No. By the mercies of God, each episode is crafted just for you. Okay, so we did timing and decision making, right? So you could just go back there and just do a little bit of listening. And if you've probably listened to it before, you could actually listen to it again. So afterwards, we talk about adding external pressure with timing. Yep. And internal pressure in decision making, and of course, guidance in decision making. Of course, by the mercies of God, and it has, yes, I'll keep saying it, by the mercies of God, I trust God that each episode, if you've listened, has become a contribution of value, or has contributed one way in or another to you. I trust God that indeed this podcast, through these episodes, have contributed immensely to you, to your growth. And yep. Today we'll be looking at something different, which is the role of friends in decision making. Alright, the role of friends in decision making. And yeah, one may be wondering, why are we going into this? Why are we talking about friends? And what do friends really do impact our decision making? And my answer will be yes, of course. Okay, like they say, show me your friend and I will tell you who you are. Oh, that statement is quite a popular statement, right? But however, what if I told you that your friends influence not only who you are, but also the choices you make and the way you spend your time? Let's become more practical. There are many of us that probably choose, I'm just like going to memory lane, that probably choose certain department, like probably the sciences or the arts departments, because one of our friends or our very close friends at that time is going towards the sciences, so we choose to go to the sciences. We have no idea whatever they are doing there. We didn't go to the department of science or probably art or commercial wherever applicable, because I want to do this course, or probably I love to go to sciences or to the art department, but we did it because our friend is going to that department, and I've heard stories about it. I've heard stories time and again about it. Or it's the situation whereby someone is about to is asking somebody out, and you, of course, I'm talking to ladies in particular. Of course, you realize that that person or the lady or you are saying yes because your friends were like, it's fine, the guy is fine, he's doing well, so say yes. And sometimes when you respond in negative, or when some ladies respond in negative, it's because their friends said no, their trusted friends said no. That's why I've had it right, that whenever you want to talk to a lady, you want to ask a lady out, it's good that you know her best friend. I heard that principle works. So it's good that you have a knowledge about her best friend and just talk to her. Like, not like necessarily go meet her and like just play your game too with her. And because that particular lady can influence the decision. So basically that is it. Friendship is all about influence. So you may not necessarily know it that way or see each other that way, but our friends are influencing us in one way or the other. So they have an impact on your thoughts, they have an impact on your decisions, and even the opportunity you are taking advantage of or the one you are letting slide away. Friends have an impact, or better still, let me put it this way, have an influence on you. So you can go to places you've never thought you would be because of friends, and you can in a way be caught in patterns that you wish you just wouldn't want to go to, or you wish that you just didn't step into the first place because of the friends that you have. So basically the reason for this episode is because of our friends can influence our decision making. Our friends can even have an impact on timing. Okay, think about it. So how many times have you asked your friends for advice, like an advice about making a big decision? Okay, It could be anything. It could be a job offer, it could be a relationship, it could be even an outfit to get, right? And let's be real, sometimes their input helps, Abby, of course, and at other times, not so much. But either ways, we end up following their advice. Okay, so if it's right, good. If it's wrong, you end up regretting that decision. But either ways, you won't necessarily, may not necessarily regret it as their decision, but it's your decision. Be like, if I had known, I've not have done this. If I have known, I'm not have taken these steps. But either ways, they influence it. So friends, the friends we keep, irrespective of your personality, irrespective of your personality trait. Oh, I don't keep many friends, I don't make friends easily, my friends are few, it takes quite a while to have friends. You sure do have friends. So God didn't create anyone, any of us, to be alone. We are created to mix with other people, right? Just let me just say it like that way. So that is just basically the whole course of today's episode. Let's talk about friends. Okay, how they shape the way we think, how they shape the way we act. Mingling with somebody for a long time, before you know what is going on, you start picking up their lingua franca. You start talking the way they are talking. So when their advice is valuable, we go for it. Even when it's not, we still go for it because of the influence they have on us. So let's just go right into it. Okay, let's just look and start with the power of friendship in shaping decisions and timing. Okay, so whether we like to admit it or not, that is fine. But our friends play a huge impact on our choices. The people we hang ourselves around influence our thoughts, they influence our habits, and ultimately they influence our decision, influence our future. Right? So there are two sides of friendship, the good side and the other side I will call the dark side of friendship. Okay. So good friends, you can say they are like compass. They help us in a way to navigate life. Good friends help us to, or they remind us of our words when we seem to forget it. Of course, those are good friends, right? They push us towards opportunities, they help us to become better, right? In a way where we are too scared to take a step, we are too scared to make an impact, we are too scared to do one or two things. Friends, of course, pushes us to do it. So many successful people in the world could trace certain moments, could trace certain curious seasons of their journey back to a friend who gave them the right push at that time, or even handed over the opportunity to them. Of course, that is the good side of friendship. Now, let's just take it the other way around. Let's flip the coin, the dark side of friendship. So, dark side of friendship speaks about bad company. It speaks about bad friends, of course. So how they can delay, distract, and completely derail us from the future. So some friends can, or let me just put it this way, or make it like this: bad friends, or the dark side of friendship, are friends that are fun to be with but are not fruitful. So some people in your life make you feel good, some people in your life make you enjoy yourself, some people in your life, they don't necessarily help you become good, but they make you feel good. So you may be listening to this episode now. So a quick question: have you ever stayed in a toxic relationship, okay, or in a dead end job because your friends convince you that the best is yet to come? Abi, or yeah, the best is yet to come. For example, you know this relationship that you are in, maybe a romantic relationship, for instance, it's not good for you. Then you have a friend that is telling you, if you leave now, where will you see money? If you leave this relationship now, no, this person is the one that put you in this job. How are you going to do it? How are we going to eat? How are we going to survive? Why don't you just bear it for the next few months? Okay, or in a more or less like I'm sure You get what I'm saying, right? So it now becomes like wasted months because you were moving at the pace of people around you instead of moving at the pace God set for you. And what I'm trying to say in essence is that the friends we keep, have the ability, consciously or unconsciously, to influence us. They are influencing us, and it happens more often than we can admit. Okay, just do a retrospect. In this episode, just do a little introspect. Now, a quick question again: how do friends influence our decision? So, whether we like to admit it or not, our friends, they have an huge impact. I'll say it again: whether we like to admit it or not, the way they impact us, impact our choices, impact our decision making. The people we surround ourselves, they in a way shape our thoughts, shape our habits, right? They shape everything about us. So, a study published in the Journal of Consumer Research found that people are more likely to make risky decisions when they are around close friends. I want to ask why. Of course, we are with people we trust, so our brain releases dopamine, making us feel safer and more confident, even if the decision isn't really a smart one. So, more or less like peer pressure. So, yeah, it's more or less like that's just basically like giving a summary. Some people say, oh, I cannot be given to peer pressure. Oh, good and fine. Our peer pressure cannot easily take down, or it cannot easily have an impact on me. Good and fine. But what would obviously have an impact on you is the friends you keep. So it's real. It's science. So looking at a real life example, right, of a particular guy, so who had this dream of relocating to Canada, but she of course wasn't sure about leaving everything behind. Okay, so she turned to two of her closest friends. One encouraged her to take the leap, reminding her of the opportunities that awaited her, while the other one told her, oh, fine girl, alpha, stay in Nigeria because home will definitely be home. So she felt torn between two decisions. She felt torn between the advice of two of them. So, but instead of rushing, she obviously sought the advice of a mentor. So, might be saying, why am I bringing this up again? Because it's necessary. You just need to go back to the previous episode to understand why. Okay, so she turned to a mentor, prayed about it, and made a decision based on peace and not on pressure. So a year later, she moved, right, and it turned out to be the best decision for her life. What is the moral lesson? Of course, we all know not all advice is bad, but it should be weighed with wisdom. It should be weighed with wisdom. Okay, now, even when it comes to friendship that we're having a discussion on right now, time and again we've heard of red flags, and it seems as though it applies to just romantic relationships, because that is when we hear it more often, red flags, and we often ignore that these flags, whether red or green, also applies to friendship. And it's also important to state, even before we move on, that when it comes to friendship, it's not just about making friends. It's about having friends whereby you share the same values, you have the same ideology, so to speak, and they not make you feel, but of course they make you better, right? But when it comes to friendship, you all have the same values. So let's be clear. Friends, of course, aren't the enemy, right? So good friends can help you make the right decision. Good friends have done, we all, come on, man, we've had testimonies, we've had experiences of what our friends have done for us, and we're like, oh my goodness, thank God for this particular person. But the key here is knowing which advice to take and which to ignore, right? So looking at it now, let's just look at it right now. Okay, the green flags, which are the signs you should listen. The red flags, the signs that should make you run and gone for your dear life. So now, when you have friends that genuinely want the best for you, but not just what is convenient to hear. So when you have friends that aren't psychopaths, all they do is that they praise you for what you have. And it's important to know that when you have friends that can look you in the eye, irrespective of your achievement, irrespective of your status, irrespective of what you've got, and they can still tell you the truth, right? Looking at you straight into the eye and still tell you the truth. And basically, they want what is best for you, but not just what is convenient for them. Okay, so they give balanced advice and not just what you want to hear. So you should be scared for your life, right? If you have friends that can look you in the eye and tell you when you are wrong, you should be scared for your life. If you do not have friends that can literally give you a balanced view, a balanced perspective about life or whatever decision you want to take, and they keep telling you what you want to hear. Now, they might it's important that you have friends that would encourage you to think in the long term, and not just what makes you feel good now, not just what makes you I've repeated it before. So not just what you want to hear, but they are helping you in a way that sometimes they don't care about your feelings. Let's put it that way. And they are like, bro, this is it. This is how it should be. This is what you are doing that is wrong. This is what you are doing that is right. Do it this way. Don't do it that way. Stop this, stop that. Irrespective of how you feel, irrespective of what you want to hear, they are dishing out the truth. So that, for me, that is a green flag. But when it comes to the red flag, we're flipping the coin right now. When it comes to the red flags, these are what you should run away from. Like you couple with your friend, and they are pressuring you into decision without letting you think. No matter the advice anyone at any particular time give to you, a proof is that they will not pressure you to make a decision. Like they'll give you an advice, even if it's in a way that is detriment of your life, but they'll let you think. They wouldn't pressure you. They wouldn't project their own fears and failures on you. Anyone that is manipulative, that invalidates your feelings, this doesn't just apply to romantic relationships, but to friendship. Anyone that project their failures on you, they gaslight you, they project their fears on you, those are red flags. Run away. Those are definitely red flags, because at the long run it will impact your self-esteem. Okay, so when you're looking at red flags again, their advice constantly change based on their mood. Their advice change based on their personal gain. You definitely should not call those ones friends. As a matter of fact, they shouldn't even have access to your life. They shouldn't have access to certain information. And beware of friends that can't celebrate your growth because it makes them feel uncomfortable, or they are envious of your growth. In fact, sometimes you may not know that someone is envious of you, but if you have friends that cannot in any way celebrate your growth, come on, man, that is definitely a red flag. It's a red flag. Well, of course, we're going to be having another episode of this topic as regard friendship. So this is more like just the peripheral. Yes. Looking at it again through the lens of the scripture, what does the Bible say about friendship and decision making? Now, one thing about the Bible that you cannot just take away from the Bible is that the Bible is packed with wisdom on every facet of life, be it marriage, be it friendship, be it business. Like, it fits into different people, it fits into different purposes, right? It answers the questions of life. It answers every question that may be lingering in your heart. So the Bible is packed with so much wisdom. And when it comes to friends, of course, the Bible is clear on friendship. And I saw a post, funny enough, I saw a post yesterday on someone's WhatsApp status, and it says, it's a meme, of course, and it says, me looking at the book of Proverbs, and it's saying fool every how do you put it? Like calling you fool every two passages or every two verses. As much as that is funny, but if I thought you wouldn't learn anything from the old Bible, or you just go into Proverbs, you obviously would learn something about friendship. You obviously will see something about friendship from the Bible. We have had stories, we have seen stories, right, of friends. You get what I'm saying? And the Bible was speaking in the book of Proverbs 13, verse 20, and it says, "Walk with the wise, and you will become wise. But for a companion of fools suffers harm." That speaks of influence. And somebody said that you are a product of, like, when you work with four people, you will become a product of, I can't remember how it was phrased, but either ways, you are an average of the people you work around with. I guess that is the statement, but that is it anyway. You are an average of the people you walk around with, or the four closest people around you, of the five closest people around you. You are an average of all of them. So when you work with the wise, you become wise. So the company you keep, the friends you have, determines your future. Why? Because they indirectly influence you. Now, looking at it from another, First Corinthians 15:33, where it says, "Bad company corrupts good manners, and corrupts good manners." Right? So, if your friends are constantly leading you into a bad decision, then it's time to evaluate those friendship. Do not be scared to reevaluate your friendship. Do not be scared to withdraw from people if they do not, if whatever they are doing does not align with your values. Okay, do not be scared to say no. Do not be scared to withdraw. Do not be scared to withdraw. Okay. Now, and when I say it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't matter as long as they are not shaking my faith. As long as sometimes some people make some statement, I'm like, wow, like I see it as arrogance, by the way. And the statement is, no, is they cannot influence me. I'll be the one to influence them. That is not true. When it comes to when we work with people for such a while, I've said it before when starting this podcast, in a way you would pick up their lingua franca. You start, in a way you can start talking like them. You start picking up certain things. You start thinking and saying things that the other person says, and it is not intentional. It just flows. Why? Because of influence, obviously. Now, why should you reevaluate your friendship? Why should you watch out for all of these things? So, Bible speaking again, Proverbs 27 verse 6, and it says, "Once from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiply kisses." So, if we are being honest, so what does it say? True friends don't just tell you what you want to hear. They tell you the truth, even when it makes you cry. Of course, they say, "Oh, we need to consider people's feeling." Yeah, but you know that when this person is speaking, you know that whenever you're with this person, this person will tell you the truth no matter what. That is the kind of people who should keep close to you. Now, I'm not talking about blunt people that those ones that don't really care, but they also see that sometimes it's important that we even learn emotional intelligence. Yeah, but that's not the reason for this episode, which I believe you understand what I'm saying, right? So sometimes, even when many friends, but I'm sure you get the gist. I'm sure you get what we are saying. So of course, we'll be having yet another episode. I don't want this to be long, but a part 2 rather of this. Please reevaluate your friendship. On a closing thought, on a final note, do your friends pressurize you to make decisions? Are they pressurizing you to make any decision whatsoever? Let's be real, okay? Friendship is a gift, but not all friendship are good for decision making. Surround yourself with people who will push you to be better, not just people who would agree with you on everything. It is dangerous to have people that are yes people, yes ma, yes sir. Of course, we've had that in the workplace when it comes to leadership, but let's remove the sir, let's remove the man. That you've got friends, of course, and every simple time they're like, oh, Kelvin, yes, yes, Kelvin, yes, Kelvin. But they're not saying no. Is it that whatever I'm saying is right? I'm always right all the time. That you cannot give a another view or another perspective. No, those are the people you avoid. Okay? So my friends, before you make the next big decision, ask yourself, am I making it from a place of peace or am I making it from a place of pressure? I need to reverse to state this again. Bad friends would pressurize you to make decisions. And even thinking about it, some people are so good at that they wouldn't place pressure on you, but they are so good at sweet talking. Right? They've mastered the art of communication. They've mastered, I'll use the word deception now. They've mastered the art of deception. So cool and smooth with words. But please, I beg you, let's be careful. Right? So this choice you're about to make, especially when you tell people that are your friends, are you making it from a place of peace? Are you making it from a place of pressure? Are your friends giving you advice based on wisdom or based on vibes? Think about it. As they come, they give you the advice. As they go, they give you the advice or not to give you advice. Like it just in a way, you just know this thing get as it be. So the advice coming from a place of wisdom, or is it coming from a place of vibe, just emotions? Believe it or not, I'll say it again. The friends you keep impact your decisions. The friends you keep even can impact your career season. They can impact your moments. They can impact it. So, yep. We've come to the end of this episode. Alright. Thank you for listening to the end, of course. But the takeaway from this episode is that you evaluate your friends. Are they making you feel better? Or are they making you worse? What influence or what role have they played? And aside decision, look at your life in general when it comes to friends. How has it been? How often did you have to, in a way, what I want to say is not coming to my mind, but I'm sure each and every one of you get the gist. You get what I'm trying to say. Reevaluate your circle. Reevaluate your friends. Those you are calling best friend. Those you share your wins with. Of course, they are your friends. Of course, they are your family. But I'm not talking about family now, but we're talking about friends. Those that you've met. Those that you're chilling with. Those you are bonding with. Those you're vibing with. They have the ability to influence you without you thinking.